after another one after another one, and going all the way down, reading so many books in line without knowing whether this book can help me or not. Well, it's been a while we haven't created our stuff for self-help, and lately I've been studying so many self-help books. I've been on this journey and doing journaling more and more, and one thing I came to realize that the more books I read, the more I get anxious. And I'm not saying self-help books being super depressing or not being helpful for me. Yes, they are helpful, but there are so many things if you don't take in consideration when it comes to approaching self-help books. I think our mental peace, which I have experienced also, our mental peace and the mindset can be disturbed. And this is what we're going to describe in this video. So I'm going to give you maybe 2 to 3 things how self-help books can disturb your mental peace if you're on your journey of self-improvement and you are looking to read one after one self-help, and then you've been keep reading those books and you've been finding that, okay, after reading maybe this book my life is going to change. After maybe reading this book is going to give me some sort of magic solution which can transform my life. Yes, self-help books do help, but not in the way that you think. So if you are doing it in a wrong way, maybe it could disturb your mental peace too. So with that being said, let's just jump on to one thing, the first very thing. What does it do to your mindset? Look, most of the time self-help books, they give you one package which will have all the approaches. Now what I mean to say that, for example, you will read one book which will say Think and Grow Rich. Let's just say that. Now I'm not saying that book is bad, the book is not useful. Yes, it is useful, but most of the people think that if you want to grow on a journey of self-improvement and money mastery or making money and stuff, maybe this one book will give you all the rules, all the fundamentals that you will ever need in your life. Well, that's not true, and that's what I'm trying to say here. Usually self-help books will give you, it's a one package, right? It's a one package, but it will give you all the approaches. Look, those approaches may have worked for some people, okay, may have worked for one individual, but this doesn't mean that it will work on everyone, right? Now if I would say the scenario of a person who is growing from scratch and the someone who has born with a silver spoon and grown in a well-off family, there are 2 different scenarios for 2 different individuals, and one book can maybe help that particular person who already has all the wealth and stuff, right? But this may not help someone who's starting from scratch. That kind of individual need his guidance customized to his own situation so that he can follow up those instructions and guidelines and wisdom to increase his lifestyle or to increase his wealth or whatever, to improve his situation, right? And the second most thing that I'm going to give you that self-help books do to your mind, and it could do, and that is information overload. You may have already understand what I mean to say that information overload. Look, most of the times we read books one after one. We are so excited to purchase this book. We saw an ad on like Instagram or social media or somewhere else. We saw that this particular person is reading that particular book is more of like a fashion thing. Maybe, we kind of pre-assume that, oh, this person has read that book. Maybe that's why his life has changed. But it could be different for you. So instead of you reading one book after another one after another one and going all the way down, reading so many books in line without knowing whether this book can help me or not, well, you are just putting wrong information in your mind. After consuming that knowledge, you will not really know how to utilize it, and then you will get anxious. Start to have negative thoughts in your head. Oh, these self-help books, these things are not working for me. No, those books are right, they will work, but it depends on you. What's your goal? What's your mindset? Where you want to go? This information, the particular education that you're trying to get, is it actually contributing towards your life or not? This is something that you have to identify the very first stage. Very first stage. You just have to know this particular thing. Where you're going. What's the information that you're trying to get? I learned this particular thing from the book called Think and Grow Rich. Be mindful about your education, where you're getting it. Or else you are just going to waste your money. You're going to waste your time. You're going to waste your mental power. All the intelligence that you're going to use to learn something that may not be useful for you, you should have rather use it on something that you know that it could be useful for you and can help you to grow. So that's why it's really important that you know what other books can actually help you and what you're actually trying to obtain from those books. So you need to set your intention first. Intentional education is the only thing that you can do if you want to grow and lead. Look at me now. Look, I'll give you my example. When I was starting my own journey, I told this story so many times to so many people. I couldn't speak English. I could not speak any single word of English properly. I had a really bad accent of Punjab. I'm not saying Punjabis have a bad accent, but I'm saying that I had a strong accent when I would speak English. But how I improved, I knew that I'm gonna go learn something from those sources who can teach me English like books. I had to talk to people intentionally had to say things, intentionally had to observe things, intentionally have to watch different videos on YouTube, Netflix. I would copy, certain characters on Netflix series and I would follow them like for a month or two. And it's not an overnight success kind of thing, okay? It doesn't happen that way. Like you will read one book and it will change your life like this. It takes money, it takes process, it takes work, it takes action. The book isn't gonna do anything for you. The book is a piece of information, piece of statement of purpose, instructions, the guidelines, and you the one who's gonna read them and take actions upon them so that you can grow. You can customize them as per your needs. So that's why. Be intentional about your education and whatever you put in your mind. Now, the third thing social media is doing, or books are doing, and those self help unnecessary books are doing, is making you to compare yourself with others. Now, you see that most of the times when you read self help books, okay, when you read really good books who will motivate you, not who, which will motivate you. Wrong grammar, I'm still learning. Never mind. So, those things, those books, which will motivate you, which will promise you that you're gonna get certain level of success, are usually written on highly achievers, highly successful people. And when you read those kind of stories, you compare your life with them. Like that they have done so much in their life. They have created certain industries, they have created certain companies, they have achieved that much amount of wealth. And then you compare yourself, you are nothing in front of them. And that gives you anxiety. So you see what's happening here. The time and energy you should be putting in taking action, you're putting that energy in cursing yourself, in like judging yourself and comparing yourself with those individuals. Well, you only know what they have done, but you don't really know how they have done, how they connected their dots, what were the challenges. Yes, in some books there are some challenges mentioned, but they don't really mention how they like take over those challenges, how they actually face them, what was their circumstance be like. So all those things really important. And that's what I'm saying to you. When you read, when you do something which has information consumption. Let's say when you consume education, when you go to university or you go somewhere else, you have to have some sort of purpose, intentional purpose, not just a purpose, intentional purpose aligned with that particular goal. What's the end result? This is the question that you're going to ask you to yourself. Now, so many people have seen on internet that people are promoting the book called Atomic Habits, right? Now, there are so many people, including myself, who have gained so much help and have improved their lifestyle from the book. But there are so many people on the other side who are saying this book is trash. Why? I'm saying that book is useful and helpful for those who are willing to change their habits, who are willing to improve their lifestyle, who are willing to actually take actions and own their problems, own their fucking addictions, and actually work on them. That book is useful for those particular individuals, not for someone who's reading it for the sake of reading, for the sake of taking pictures, for the sake of just understanding. Hey, I have read that book. No, because that book actually dive into technicalities of habits, how those micro changes can lead to bigger changes. That's why you have to be intentional. And that's the only solution I can give it to you. Only solution. If you are on a journey of self improvement and you're finding yourself to read more and more books, like books are the particular part and the journey and the path that you're taking in, then this is something you have to take in consideration. Be mindful about your book consumption, be mindful about your book selection. And you can only be mindful about your book selection and choosing those books wisely when you have that goal. What's the end goal? What's the end result you're trying to achieve? So you need to know that first. Then only you can go out and see, okay, for example, my goal is to reduce 10 kg. Now, you may not have enough resources to invest in a trainer, invest in a gym. Then you can go find a book which will teach you home workouts and diet plan. And then you can follow all the steps mentioned in that book. You don't have to just go and read all the stories how someone with 120 kgs lose 20 kgs. You don't have to read that story. You have to actually go and see and follow those workout plans and the dietary plans. That's what you need to know. You don't need to read anyone's story, because you need action plan so that you can work on it. This is what I'm trying to say. This is what differentiate. Oh man, I'm only making this video because I usually post content on my Instagram, which is about books, which is about journaling, which is about self-help and improvement. And when I receive messages from people, they say, "Brother, books are trash. Books are nothing." Then I get angry also, brother. These books are the things who have actually changed my life. These are the books which are helping me to go towards my goal. How can you say that this book is trash? That means you haven't figured out the main foundation first. You need to know why you are studying those books. Anyway, that was all for the day and for this video. Hopefully you have learned something out of this video. Yeah. And I want you to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who has wrong perception about books, who have wrong mindset towards self-help books and self-improvement journey. Look, things can actually change. You can actually change your life by following self-help books, but by being intentional what you actually need, not by just picking any book and reading. Okay, and don't just always. That's the only suggestion that I want to give it to you right now. It's an extra, it's a bonus thing. Yeah, don't just read self-help books. If you're someone who's into um, earning more and understanding finances more and marketing or anything else, try to pick different genres also. Well, those are the actual books that you can gain actual knowledge. Don't go into technical books, highly technical books. Okay, go for like beginner books, beginner to finance, beginner to tax, beginner to marketing. Yes, I know social media has made things really, really easy for everyone, but still, we need to clear our basics first, and only we can jump onto other things. Okay, and yeah, with that being said, enjoy your day.